Welcome to this webinar, which I have put together for you because I'm getting a lot of questions from people who are feeling financial stress. I think 90% of households in America and Canada right now are feeling stressed financially. They don't know where to start. And this is something that I have built together for you. In a very few minutes, I can explain to you what your customized roadmap needs to be. Now, welcome to this. My name is Akshaya. I'm one of the founders of the Educated Wealth Club, and I'm here to just take you through your customized roadmap. Now, in our day job, we advise CEOs on their global expansion plan. And just in the past 6 months, we've advised multiple companies on how to grow their revenue 3 times successfully across the world. But we are now here to share our story with people who really want this education to get started. Now, the first thing you need to know is, if you start to think of something as a side hustle, you probably won't be successful, because this is not a side hustle. When you're trying to start an additional income, or you're trying to start a different business, it requires the time, the dedication, the effort, and the respect. So I personally don't like to use the word side hustle, but it depends on people on how they want to use language in their own life. So let's get started. Here's your customized roadmap. No matter who you are, no matter where you are, you will find something here for you if you look at it with the right mindset. Now, if you go to the next slide, there's only 2 things I believe you need to succeed in this money game. First is the mindset and the hunger to succeed. It will set you apart from everyone else who is out to do the same thing, because without the drive, you cannot get far. The second thing is not resources, it's resourcefulness. It's about how you're going to tackle the things that you have, as well as find the things that you don't have. And that is what gets you to your next level. Now, typically what we see is a framework that's missing, because on Instagram and TikTok, there's 100 people telling you 100 different ways to reach financial freedom, to get rid of your job, and to sit on the beach. But you don't really know how to pick which one's right for you. And you would end up doing a lot of different things without having this framework to assess what is actually right for you. So the first thing you need to understand is this checklist is what you will apply to everything else in your mind, in your saved reels, etc., to say which one are you going to pursue first. So the first thing you need to know is capital. Starting a different business, starting a different income stream is going to require some investment. Some maybe not, some will. So you want to have a quick way of figuring out what are your finances, and can you actually invest this money into a new business, which is essentially risk, because you may or may not get that money back. Now, we all want to say that $100 or $500 is going to multiply 100 times, but it might not happen as well. So you've got to be understanding of the risk. The second thing is resources. What do you have at your disposal? Are you a tradesman? Are you an artist? Do you have specific skills that you can provide which can be monetized? Do you know something that is an answer to what people are looking for? All of these are going to help you when you decide to get into this next business opportunity. The other thing you've got to think about is your personality, because a lot of people are not really trained to be extroverts. If I say go out and start selling today, you might not want to do it because you're not comfortable. But at the same time, if you're an extrovert and I gave you a job to go and talk to 100 people, you'll be completely fine. So you've got to find what works for you and then tune in to using that, because everybody is different. And I don't think that what works for me will work for someone else, and what works for someone else might not work for me. The other thing is a training budget. Now, the ability to learn is going to be really important, because we want to understand what is the skill set that I need to be successful. If I want to become a digital marketer, where do I start? A very good place to start is Google, because there are many, many courses that are offered free. Do you want to become a Facebook ads expert? All of these are information available outside in the real free world. So it's really how you're going to use that information to upskill yourself. Now, don't try to learn everything at the same time. Pick an idea, pick a space that you want to specialize in, and go and find someone, have a coffee with someone, reach out to someone on LinkedIn and see if this is what is right for you. Sorry. Then you've got the training budget or the marketing budget, because the moment you decide to offer your skills, you need to be able to tell people that you're offering these skills. Now, marketing budget could be simple. If you are offering this to businesses or professionals, you can probably go on LinkedIn and start writing content, creating information that people will come to you for. So you kind of switch on something called attraction marketing, where clients that you want to work with will come to you. But this is all going to take marketing stamina, because it's not an overnight thing. No business, no income is an overnight thing. No matter what everybody on TikTok or Instagram will tell you, it takes time, it takes patience, it takes learning. And you've got to also understand the constraints. Maybe you have family constraints, maybe you have physical constraints or anything of that sort. You want to work with what you have rather than set unrealistic goals. Now, typically we start with this to say, hey, how do you become a millionaire? And the first part to becoming a millionaire is to understand that you need to have different income streams. Nobody becomes a millionaire by just creating TikTok videos. Maybe that happens for some people, but not for all. So this is what we've analyzed as the 7 income streams that millionaires have. The first one is earned income. You're probably in a job. It's a great idea to stay in your job until your other incomes are stable and comfortable enough to give you an opportunity to move across and run that full time. I'm not a big advocate of someone who would want to just quit their job to try a venture without capital. Now, if you have capital backing, you are able to invest, then for sure I would support it, but not otherwise. Now, business income is what we're discussing here. How much business income can you generate in various different shapes and forms? Interest income is what millionaires earn when they lend their money. Millionaires lend their money to each other, they lend their money to the bank, to funds, etc. So they want to make sure that their money is not sitting idle, not earning anything. They always want that money to be earning. Now, dividend income is something we cover in detail in our course. Dividend income is, profit share, or, a dividend that you receive from your shares or listed share portfolio that you may have. Also, property investing. Once you have a property portfolio or more than a couple of properties, rental income starts coming in. Now, if you don't know where to start with property investing, stay tuned for our course, because we've got a whole module in there. While this is just kind of a trailer of what we cover in our course, we have in-depth training on each and every part of this income stream in our course. Now, capital gains comes in when you buy and sell assets. So the name of the game is to create assets and use those assets to create cash flow. And when you have significant cash flow, you take that cash flow, you create a new asset. This is how businesses, business owners, CEOs think and live and breathe, which is very different to having just one job earning you money. Now, after you reach a certain point, you want to see if you can market yourself to receive royalties or licensing income from what you can provide to the world. So globally, this is how millionaires earn their money and stay rich. Now, before we start off on our framework, the first thing you need to do is, what do you want? Now, do you want to earn $30,000 more? What exactly are your goals? Without setting these goals, it's very hard, and it's kind of like getting in a car with no destination in mind. So I do not recommend doing that. And the goals need not be ridiculous. It can be very simple to say, look, I want to cover a holiday, or I want to make sure that my rental's taken care of, or whatever it is. Because with the current issues of rising cost of living, it's going to become more and more important to have another source of income. So get this head start right now, because the time to start the business was yesterday. The next best time is today. And in order to make sure you're successful in whichever business you start, you want the right foundation, which is the course that we have put together. So I've just given you a quick example of one of our clients. She's already in a salaried job as a lawyer, so she's already earning $120,000. Now, what we have put together is a plan for her to start consulting. And in her consulting revenue, we've set a target of $30,000. She wants $10,000 to be set aside for a holiday. We keeping aside $25,000 as emergency fund and $15,000 as investments, which means the total income that she probably needs to earn is about $200,000. So it's good to work backwards from there. Now, things that may change is her salary might go up, or her consulting income might come down, or whatever it is, net, she knows that she needs to earn this much money, and it gives you a starting point. Now is the framework. Where do I start? The best questions to ask yourself are here. Now, drop shipping. I'm sure everybody's heard of drop shipping. Drop shipping is a model where you are selling products that you don't really own. It is a complete marketing strategy where there is a supplier who's selling a product to you at, let's say, $50. You are selling it on to someone else at $70. That $20 is your arbitrage or the income that you're going to make. Now, would it be easy to fit a drop shipping kind of a side income with your current lifestyle? Probably. Do you need capital? Not a lot, really. You just need a good website and an understanding of how drop shipping works. Do you need training? Probably, but it's not going to be very hard. So I would definitely put this on the short list for you to consider. Now, going into the next model, which is a franchise. A franchise is where you buy, let's say, a Burger King, or you buy a McDonald's franchise or any other franchise. Now, franchises are typically capital intensive. So it's not really something that you can easily fit into your current lifestyle. There are a lot of restrictions and requirements to franchise businesses. Do you need capital? Absolutely. Do you need training? Absolutely. Now, if my answer to all of this is not really, I don't really have the capital, then it's not going to go on my short list. Now, consulting is the quickest one to start, because if you are a professional, you have over the years of working, learned something, chances are someone somewhere else in the world might be willing to pay for that skill. So it will be consulting, it would be a blog, it could be an online store, anything of this nature would be easy to fit in. You can design your hours, you can decide when you want to work and how you're going to work. You don't really need capital because you've already invested the capital to upskill yourself. Do you need training? Maybe. And definitely put on the short list, because this is something that you can definitely start off. You want to register yourself on Fiverr, on Upwork, on LinkedIn, any place that you might be able to easily pick up traffic to let them know that you're available to offer your services. The next one is services like landscaping or, cleaning or photography that would involve you physically doing something. Now, it is not exactly digital, so your geographical reach might be quite small, but it can be a very profitable thing because these are also skills that are in demand a lot of times. So you can decide to offer these. Would it be easy to fit in? Yes, you might decide to do this, on the weekends or something to that effect. Do you need capital? Not really. And you might not really need training if you are artistically leaning in that manner, that you don't really need to be trained on it. So definitely put it on the short list. So I'm not giving you your short list. What I'm giving you is the tools or the framework that you can use to shortlist your own questions to say, is this something I want to start? And the biggest one I realize I haven't put in here is time. How much time do you have to dedicate to something like this? Now, if you look at your job and your family requirements and everything else, you've got to also make that trade-off, because there are sacrifices to be made to get something else going. So again, that's not a decision that I can help you with, but it's something that you will need to make for yourself. The other way to classify it is whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. Now, if you're an introvert, maybe try something that is more to do with staying indoors, which you're comfortable with. If you don't want to go out and put yourself out there, you might look at writing articles, you might become a content producer, you can get into digital marketing and offer services in ways that doesn't really make you feel uncomfortable. If you're an extrovert, you're a salesperson, you can look at like a high ticket sales, go and collaborate with people who might need your skills. So it's always about finding people in your network, in your world, that you can then add value to. So it can be a lot more sustainable if it really flows with who you are. I've specifically put this slide on negotiation and joint ventures, etc., because this is going to be the most important aspect. It's never going to be easy to go on this journey alone. And the year that we are in is really collaboration. So I would say, who are the clients that you want to work with? Who already works with them? Why don't you talk to them and see if you can collaborate? Maybe you can be the upsell that they provide, or you can have the same customer get more value by collaborating with someone. For example, if you are, let's say, someone who is good with finances and accounting, you might want to partner up with a business that is in the same space offering services to businesses, let's say like an accountant. So bookkeeping, accounting, mortgage broking, finance, they're all quite interconnected. And there is a trial and error. I mean, you can't expect this to all take off immediately. Some joint ventures take time, some maybe not, some maybe are dead on arrival. You never know. You've got to try it out. And you want to document your partnership, or you want to try and get an internship with someone or an organization that can help you with your upskilling yourself. You can try and get a mentor. You should try and network. Look, getting into this next level is always going to be uncomfortable. And unless you're ready to get uncomfortable, you are not going to get the results you want. And you're going to have moments where things look like they're extremely painful. Believe me, we've all been there. But that is a time that helps you break out of your comfort zone. So try and get uncomfortable. Put yourself out there, meet people, talk to people. It's only going to help you. Because sales and marketing is going to become a very important part of this, because whatever you're doing, you're selling. You're either selling a service, you're selling a product, or you're selling a solution. So you've got to get comfortable with sales and marketing. And I'm looking at you, the introverts. You've got to find a way to just be comfortable in talking about the value you can offer to your clients, and be persistent. Have an elevator pitch, because you never know where opportunity might meet you. You might be in the supermarket, you might be at a party. You want to be able to communicate the value and the fact that you're open to opportunities, because a lot of times I would say find people who are doing what you want to be doing and hang out with them. And you'll be surprised how much you just pick up, because you might need to break out of your current network to find the network that you want to be in. And remember, your network is going to be equal to your net worth. So be careful who you're hanging around with, because that can either propel you upwards or it can drag you down. So do an audit of the people around you. And if you want to be a millionaire, the quickest way to do that is to hang around with millionaires. Because believe me, that has been the one thing that changed my life. I just realized how differently these people operate in their personal life, in their professional life, and how their brains are trained to identify opportunities, and how they're so different to the usual crowd that you might be hanging around with, which is very comfortable. So that's my tip for you. And these are some important advisors that you want if you are seriously looking to set up a business, get your additional income growing. You would need good accountants, bankers, brokers, lawyers, just to make sure that you are taken care of. So make sure you find your circle of advisors, because that is very, very important. And I've also put some quick resources in here on starting a business and what you need to know. I really hope that you have enjoyed these few minutes that we've spent together, because I wanted to give you a way and a framework to get started, because it is quite overwhelming to figure out where to start. How do I even go about? Maybe this is not even going to work. So what I'm here to say is everything in work, it just is a matter of time. So don't give up too quickly, and start with something you're comfortable with, and grow, network, collaborate. That is really how you win the money game. Thank you.